About 12 months ago, a friend of mine introduced me to the carnivore diet. And I guess you could say the rest is history. Because it's been an incredible year for me, I have just been blown away by the power of the carnivore diet to not only help you lose weight, but to totally transform the whole of your life. And this has certainly been my experience. And if you've listened to any of my other videos, you would have heard my story before. But today I wanted to give you 4 steps that I don't often talk about. We often talk about what we eat and don't eat and how to get started and all of those things. But I've been reflecting upon my own journey. And I've come up with 4 steps. I've called them my 4-step recipe for success on the carnivore diet. Now, these are very personal steps. These are things that I have found significant that help me make the big changes in my life that I did starting with the carnivore diet. So let me just unpack these for you a little bit. Step number 1 is this, and that is to change your mindset. You see, a lot of people start the carnivore diet with a bit of a curiosity about it. They've heard about it. Maybe a friend told them about it. They've watched some YouTube videos. They're a little bit curious and they think, well, maybe I could have a go at that. I could try this. I could give it a go. And some people kind of then dabble on the edges and they sort of play around with it. And then they start asking all the age-old questions like, oh, can I still have some of this or some of that? Or can I do this or can I do that? Look, I think you've just got to change your mindset and go all in on carnivore. You might say, well, I'm not ready to do that. Well, you need to be ready to do that. Even if you're saying, I'm going to do this for, say, 3 months like I did. You need to really change your mindset and say, look, I'm not playing games here. I'm not trying to, work out where I can cheat and where I can get a bit extra in here. I'm going to go all in. I'm going to take massive action. I think that is the crucial point that you've got to get to with carnivore. You've got to take massive action. What would it be worth to turn your whole life around? What would it be worth to lose that weight, to get rid of your diabetes, to get rid of your heart condition, to get rid of Crohn's disease or whatever it is? In my case, it was fatty liver and insulin resistance and being called pre-diabetic. I got rid of all that stuff on carnivore. There's a story in the Gospels where Jesus encounters a man who had been lame for 38 years, laying on a mat. And Jesus asked him a question that appears almost cruel, but he says to him, do you want to get well? But as I've had more life experience, I've come to see it's not such a stupid or a cruel question after all. It's a fundamental question, and I want to ask you today, do you want to get well? Do you want to change your situation? Would you be prepared to take massive action? Would you be prepared to radically change your diet and your lifestyle in order to change the outcome, the destiny of your life? To totally transform your life, body, soul, and spirit I'm talking about. Because I think that's what it's got to take. And so begin by sitting and asking yourself, am I ready to give this all that I have? Will I go all in? Will I take responsibility for my life and my health? Will I accept the fact that nobody's coming to save me? I cannot play the victim. I've got to get up and I've got to do something. That's the first step of my recipe, and my life only changed when I changed my mindset and said, I've got to do something about this. My doctor won't help me. My friends won't help me. My family won't help me. I've got to take initiative here and do something about it. It's true with everything in life, but essentially it's true with the carnivore diet. So change your mindset, change how you see things, change your perspective of this thing. That's step number 1. Okay, recipe step 2 is this, and that is to embrace simplicity. We have a love for making simple things complex. Have you ever noticed that? It doesn't matter how simple something is, we won't rest and be happy until we've made it as complex as possible. Friends, carnivore is incredibly simple. Eat meat, drink water. I mean, it doesn't get more simple than those 4 words. And we try and mess it up. We try and make it complex. We try and want formulas and we want this and that. Look, carnivore is simple. Just eat meat, eggs. You know, I eat meat, eggs, salt and butter. That's it. That's all I eat on this carnivore diet. It's incredibly simple. I recently wrote a recipe book because I just had so many people asking me, what do I eat? And I'd say, eat meat. And they'd say, well, what does that mean? Well, I put a recipe book together with 50 recipes in it that are just all meat-based recipes, entirely carnivore. And that recipe book was easy for me to write in a sense because every recipe in there only had 2 or 3 steps because there's only so many things you can do with meat at the end of the day. And so that was my recipe book. It's incredibly simple. Don't complicate it. Don't try and see if you can make carnivore this and carnivore that. You know, some people do that. Look, just keep it simple. Just eat meat. I have never craved variety on this thing. People say, oh, I need variety. I'll get sick of meat. Look, that's just not been my experience. I always loved meat. Even when I was a kid, I would eat meat first on my plate and then Mum would have to force me to eat my vegetables. But I found I've always loved meat, but since being carnivore this last 12 months, I love meat more than ever. I find it incredibly satiating. It simplifies your life. And one of the great strengths of carnivore is that it is simple. And I want to tell you, folks, there is a real strength in simplicity. There is a real strength in simplicity. I want you to hear that. There is a weakness in complexity. When we try to make things complex and long formulas and long theories, we get into trouble and we finish up falling on our face. Keep it simple and stay with carnivore because it will be your strength. Keep it simple. Just eat meat, drink water, and you will really thrive on this diet. That's step number 2. Okay, the third step of my carnivore recipe is to connect with the carnivore community. Look, I say this often, but it's just so important. I've been part of communities all my life. I grew up in the church and I pastored a church for most of my life, and it was all about community and connecting people with a community. But I've got to tell you, the carnivore community is absolutely phenomenal. I've just been blown away by the richness and the depth and the simplicity of the carnivore community. I was in Adelaide earlier this year, last year now, last November, for Carnivore Connection, where we had, 400 or 500 carnivores come together. And we really met as strangers. We had not physically met before, but the sense of oneness and unity in that room was absolutely spine-tingling. People were embracing one another, even though they had never physically met. There was a oneness, a connection in being together. And if you try and do carnivore alone, you'll miss out on the richness and the diversity of the carnivore community. Look, join with other carnivores. I don't know how you do that. Think creatively in your area. How could you get carnivores together? Start a meetup group or put something on Facebook or try and find other carnivores and start meeting together for a coffee or for a get together every now and then. Or if you can't find anything in your physical community, join the online community. I've got a Facebook group associated with this channel, Carnivore Pensioner. Now got, I think, we're approaching 600 members. It's a fantastic group. We've kept it totally pure. In other words, we've kept the keyboard warriors out. Nobody will ever judge you. Nobody will ever put you down. Nobody will ever condemn you or put you right. We've kept all of those people out. It's a fantastic support group. You can share ideas. You can have a whinge. You can ask for help. You can share your stories, experiences, and I found it just a tremendous group, and I'm very proud of that group. But look, the carnivore community is fantastic, and if you're going to try and do carnivore without the community, it's going to be so much harder, and you'll miss out on such a great blessing. The carnivore community is awesome. I want you to hear that, and you need it, and so connect with it. Guys, for some reason, we seem to have greater trouble connecting with other carnivores, but just do it. You'll find that there'll be newer people on this journey that you can encourage, that you can get alongside to, that you can hear their stories. Look, just this week, I interviewed Bob, who's 80 and starting Carnivore, and what a delightful story that was. I'll put a link to his story in the description. But join the Carnivore community. That's step number 3. Finally, step number 4 of my Carnivore recipe is this, and that is to expand your vision, to expand your mission, as it were, to expand your calling with this thing, because carnivore starts off usually for most people being about weight. They start carnivore because it's the latest diet out there, and they think, well, I've tried others, I'll try carnivore to lose weight. And so many people start there, but then they find so many other things happen. Not only do they lose the weight, but so many other health benefits begin to emerge. And I could give you a list a page long of health benefits that I've experienced in my carnivore journey. But it doesn't stop with just physical health. It moves from the body up to the mind, to your emotions. And carnivore gives you a whole new sense of calm, and you have a greater joy in your life, a greater, it flows from that simplicity that we were talking about. And then it begins to go even further into what I call the spiritual dimension. And look, I just want to say that to you today. You've come this far on carnivore. You've seen some results. You've lost some weight. You've got your mental health back. You've got mental clarity. Your physical conditions are being reversed. You feel so much better. Well, let it transform the whole of your life. Let it go body, soul, and spirit. The Bible says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You can transform the whole of your life, starting with the carnivore diet. When it gets to the mind and you transform your mind, you renew your mind. Well, how do I do that? You change what you think about. You change what you think about. Now, we think about whatever input we give our minds. We put books and movies and visions and pictures into our mind, and so that's what our mind produces. So what are we putting into our mind? Look, I've just found lately, I just want to give you a few things that have really helped me. Meditation. Having some quiet moments where I just reflect and I just let myself relax, often with headphones and some music or out in nature. I found that tremendously helpful. De-stressing, just calming me right down and putting me in a great headspace. I found being in forests, being in nature, tremendously helpful. So many benefits of just being out in nature, going on a walk or sitting in a forest, watching a waterfall, watching a live stream, not the ones on the screens, but the ones in nature. Doing those sorts of things. They talk today about the forest bathing that emerged out of Japan in the 80s, and just so many medical studies on the value of being in a forest in an unhurried way. Then they talk about the grounding and earthing, and I've been experimenting with this lately myself. I'm just getting out and going barefoot on the grass, and just the impact of the electrons in the earth coming into your body. I've been experimenting with this, but all of these things are transformational. Maybe for you it's yoga or whatever it is. Go further than the carnivore diet. Go all the way. Let it change your life, body, soul, and spirit. And you'll not only look different, you'll not only feel different, but you'll be different. Well, friends, this is just 4 simple steps. Let me recap them again. You've got to change your mindset. Go all out. Number 2, you've got to embrace the simplicity of the carnivore diet. Number 3, you've got to connect with the carnivore community. And number 4, you have got to expand your vision and transform your mind, transform your whole life by whatever exercises and spiritual practices help you. So look, I'm hoping this will help you just begin to think a little bit more than just, eating meat and your diet and so forth. It all starts there, and it's all so important. But friends, you can do this. I'm with you all the way. Join our group, you know, just be part of who we are. If you missed my interview with Bob, I'll leave a link to it above and you can watch it there. But thanks for watching today. I will see you on the next video, and until then, keep telling your story and change your life.